That's Kapichat! That's Kapichat! That's Kapichat! All right.
Ooh. Hello. Right.
Yeah. Saturday morning, just to let everybody know, it was a bit wrong. We normally do this in the evenings.
Yeah, we do. It's the morning. Literally is. I've been to the
Daylight.
post office.
You think the post office?
Because the queue was so big. I was delivering getting a CD sent out. I was planning on doing that and then going to the bakery and getting a Belgian bun, but the queue was too big at the post office, so I only just got back here in time to do this.
That's not a normal routine, is it? We're doing a Kapichat.
Exactly.
Throw you.
That's put me in a bit of a grump, really, because I wanted that Belgian bun.
Brilliant. It's going to go well then. Well, we've had a good week, really, haven't we? Up to now, until your Belgian bun problem. It's not been a bad week, really. We
The Belgian bun kind of ruined it.
Thursday night, we had a trip to Peterborough, which is lovely.
Yeah.
Nice to get out. Little drive over there down the A47.
Yeah. McDonald's.
We did have a McDonald's.
So we quarter pounder.
Yeah, I had my first double quarter pounder. So we had a little band practice before we went, didn't we? And then I had no food. I never do any food at home. So we stopped for some tea at McDonald's, and I was going to have the usual kind of chicken wrap, but I was shamed.
Skinny shamed
Into my choice of, well, I can't even say healthy, but less chunky food, into having a double quarter pounder, which there was a large double quarter pounder. I mean, it was magical.
Do you reckon that's any more unhealthy than one of the wraps? Deep fried chicken in batter?
I don't. It's just the way that burger sits on you. It kind of sits there for a bit, and then it goes down a bit more. Interestingly, it had a dramatic effects on my vocals that night. Normally, my vocals are quite soft and tender, but I don't know if anyone noticed who listened to the Doc Mason show that I was quite gruff. I did see you look across at one point thinking that Rod Stewart was sitting next to you.
Yeah, as if that were Tom Waits. I can tell.
Bonnie Tyler, any of them, it could have been. I was a little bit gruff, and I'm putting it down to that burger and the gristle.
I think their microphones smell of beef still. I bet that room smelled of beef.
It did the opposite to your vocals, didn't it? We listened to the magic of modern technology. 10 minutes after doing a live stream on Facebook, you can listen back to it. So in the van on the way home, put on the live stream, listening to it. That's all right. That's all right. That is. We've done all right. And caught by the first. Just to cut by the first. I think there's a mouse in the van. Right.
To be rehearsing that, I could do that high pitched.
Yeah.
And it went in there.
Yeah.
And it was going. Oh yeah, no, not doing that. And
you can literally hear the point where you go, no, not doing that. The thought was so loud, you can literally hear it. So we can just maybe cut out the high frequencies or something.
Yeah, well, he is mixing it, and he's mixing them before he sends them over to us. So hopefully he's noticed that that's quite bad and accidentally mixed that one out.
Good luck to him. But no, it was always a bit of a risk, wasn't it, doing an acoustic thing? We're not
Gotcha.
kind of known for our vocal talents.
No, and my well-known constant rehearsing.
Yeah, you worked hard for that, didn't you, with the rehearsing?
I did. That's what...
the actual performance, I think, was one of your first rehearsals.
It was, I think that was the third one.
No, it was good though. Thank you, Doc, if you're watching.
Yeah, thanks. That was good.
For having us on there, especially the first guest of the year. You can look at that as either as a real privilege that he chose us to be the first ones, or we'll just throw them onto tests. It'll probably go wrong, so we can just iron out.
Can only get better
before the pros come in next week, which was Collars actually next week, isn't it? Yeah, what's the time? 4 minutes. The other thing this week is we got bored of waiting for June the 1st for the new album, XYZ. I mean, we only released Semi-Skim 3 weeks ago, but I'm over that. That's gone.
I've completely forgotten it. In all honesty, No, I'm not going to say actually. No, I'm excited about XYZ now. It's. But we're always one album ahead. We're always thinking kind of one album ahead. I am anyway. I'm a bit like Sullivan on the snooker table, but he's always thinking several moves ahead.
Interesting.
Several albums ahead.
Interesting analogy.
Yeah. Doing it all left-handed as well, and I'm running out of energy. But it's but that's the I wanted to get XYZ done because I wanted to get the next album out as well. But this XYZ album's really, really good. And we've had some good reports so far. So.
Yeah, there's some comments coming in last night. People loving it.
Yeah.
Of course, it has got our collaboration with Collars on and our collaboration with Oscar as well.
Yeah, I mean, Oscar's songs are really good. He's only a young lad, isn't he? I don't even know who he is in all honesty. You know him from something, I don't know what.
Yeah, just through Instagram, just by being chatty. I'll tell you why, because he often plays songs by the Cribs on his bass and puts it on there, and my previous connection with the Cribs, I quite like them as well. So I got chatting to him a while ago, before Kapichat actually, Fuzzfeld's got chatting to him, and he's a really cool bass player. So he sent us over some bass lines, and actually we talk about Play It Cool, but actually it was part of his bass line, or one of his bass lines is also on Run Over the Mill as well.
Yeah.
So perhaps doing him an injustice just to say the one track. So sorry, Oscar, thank you very much.
Credited him for both of them on the artwork, and thank you. So.
That's cool. So XYZ is out there, and album 7 is pretty much good to go. That's sorted, and so now we're thinking album 8. We've got, there's still about 80 song ideas in there in the folders that we haven't touched on yet. They just don't go away. So we're going to try and make that our summer album. We're thinking about having us in just swimming shorts on the front cover, I think, kind of laying on a beach.
Say shorts, Speedos.
Kind of rubbing sun lotion on each other, maybe. Really get that summer vibe. Kind of the Ibiza thing going, which I know we both enjoy. Yeah,
quite the clubber. All that. So he's going to be on in 1 minute, you know.
Yeah, we haven't even said he's on today, but it'll say on the front of the video anyway. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So we need to duck out of the way, don't we?
He's a man who needs no introduction. I think I'm going to have to hit the admit from the waiting room. So you hide now. A bit quicker. That's it. Because we have prepared quite a significant gag here. I can see the top of your head poking up. That's it. Yeah, that's good. Like that. A bit more up. Yeah. Stay like that.
Yeah. Like an egg.
Yes.
An egg off the ground.
There is Emiliano is looking at your egg. It's 10:30. I was quite strict on the timings. We'll talk more about his timings in a bit with how long it took to make that song for us. He almost delayed the 12 album project.
He did, but considering we didn't actually put that on an album,
that's true.
Would have been unfair for that to delay the album project.
True, I'm being a bit unfair.
You are being a bit unfair. No, it's Italian, isn't it?
Yeah, I've not practiced my voice. I'm going to see what comes out. Oh, it's 10:31. I told him. Hang on, I've got a text. No, it doesn't say anything.
If you're talking like just got to talk about movements.
He's there. He's there.
Where?
I think he's there. Hello. This is Timo. This is Timo Pokey here. Hello.
And hey guys.
Yeah.
Hello. I've had a phone call, and it is the Premier League. We've got to go. Bye.
I anticipated that this might happen.
It's two again. Yeah. Hello.
Hey, yeah, you all right?
Yourself?
Yeah, really good, thank you.
That was a
I think that
good
worked
joke.
well.
Wasn't
Yeah, that worked well.
I knew it was coming. I just thought, got to wear the Villa shirt today.
it? Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's
There you
like
go.
Dean
stuff.
Saunders as well, blast from the past.
There's your man. That kit with that. Do you remember that? In like the 1992, 93, they had little tie-up bits.
Yeah, I had that kit when I was a wee little boy.
Always looks quite dangerous. That, like, whip in the eye.
Yeah, I don't think health and safety it would. I don't think you could get through anymore.
No. What was your favourite kit, by the way? Was this one of your favourites? I always like the Muller one.
Yeah, the there was the Muller away kit. It was like green, black, and red. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. Yeah, I like it when they do something a bit different,
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just faffing with my computer. Be within a second.
Yeah, me too. Just a second.
Yeah, just
We had a bright yellow away kit in like the mid 2000s from
Yeah, good
memory,
colour.
which was
Good colour.
I thought you might appreciate that one. I am about
yeah. Right, before we start, we normally we mention who we're talking to in the 10 minutes before, but we were so busy just being quite entertaining that we didn't even mention who you are. Steve, have you prepared a introduction?
Do I ever prepare an introduction?
You're not. I thought they were always planned.
They no, I haven't. I have not prepared an introduction, but this one's quite an easy one anyway. This is Matt Beard from Court of the Faithful and honorary member of Das Kapichat with one of the songs that he's sung on, and yeah, brilliant singer, amazing singer, Matt Beard. Welcome, Matt Beard.
Thank you very much.
And
Thank you for having me.
It is a bit like a date, this, isn't it? Because we've been chatting now for a few weeks.
We've been flirting.
We have been flirting. We've been bonding quite well, the three of us, I think. And this is the first time we've ever spoken like this.
Yeah, I mean, to amplify that point, I was going to ask you guys. Do you prefer Simon and Stephen or Cy and Steve? Are we at that point? Can I call you Cy and Steve now? I don't know what's the crack.
Yeah, you can
call us Sweetheart and Buttercup.
Sweetheart. Okay,
darling.
I don't care, whatever.
Because you on the radio the other night, you Matthewed me. No, I'm not too sure about that.
Well, that's what you are on Facebook.
Yeah.
That was my first introduction to you on Facebook, and that's Matthew.
Formal and professional, but
well, that's what our performance was, so that's why we used it. Because when we're doing the band, we are quite professional and formal.
I've noticed that. Very professional.
We only work with the finest musicians, Matthew.
Or Matt, if you
Matt,
if you,
sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Matt. I was a bit nervous that we wouldn't be able to understand you. We had a little conversation the other day about we discovered that you have an accent that is not like our proper accent. You've got a strange accent. But it's going quite well so far. I might have to put some subtitles up on the bottom of the screen occasionally for the viewers. But so you were saying that your accent has got I was going to say worse, but that's not the case, is it? It's got truer recently.
Yeah, I think that I kind of sit in this middle ground now. It's like I don't belong anywhere because I've been in Peterborough area for like 10 years. So if I go home, then my brothers will tell you that I've lost a lot of my Canuck accent. But then obviously to you guys, I'm sure I just sound like I might as well be in the centre of Birmingham as far as you're concerned.
Yeah.
I
feel like I'm there now.
I always think of Lenny Henry, and that's it. That's
Is he from Birmingham?
He was Birmingham, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's the same because Pete Tromans is as well, noise merchant. He's that way as well. So we've had a little bit of practice with this accent. So we can kind of understand the occasional word. It's fine.
I was contemplating just as it booted up, just being, oh, you're right. All right, how you doing? And really putting it on for a little while. But you probably can't tell the difference between what I just did.
No.
And what I'm saying now. No.
You just made a noise. I was looking because we obviously planned this really well. I was looking at some Birmingham dialogue things online. So if we got short conversation later, if there's some awkward silences, I'll pull some of them up and we can try some of them.
Okay.
I thought
that'll really test me.
Yeah. Be good, I think. We can do some Norfolk ones as well. Arepa.
Norfolk.
Thought what we'd do before we start talking about you and music, we need to have 5 minutes on football. we've not had a chance to do this yet on Das Kapichat, but as we're dressed for the occasion, I will put up a warning on the video when I upload it that the next 5 minutes will be about football, because not everyone's going to want to talk about that. So yeah, why Villa? What does Villa mean to you?
I mean, I grew up in a town called Cannock, which is probably about 20 miles north of Birmingham. So they're certainly the bigger local team. Cannock has got a lot of Wolves fans, and then a sprinkling of Villa fans, and then the usual kind of like Man United fans that get everywhere. But my dad was a Villa fan. He started following the Villa as a teen. I think he might have dabbled with Manchester United for a little while before, but thankfully he saw the light on that one. So yeah, I just grew up with Villa in the house. My earliest memories were mid-90s. We won the League Cup in 96, and I've got quite vivid memories of watching that as a 8-year-old boy, giving away my age there a little bit. So yeah, and for the early part of my life, you know, it was relatively enjoyable being a Villa fan, particularly in the Midlands. We had we were fortunate enough to be the better team for so long. But then it's not been as much fun the last 10 years or so, I would say.
Yeah,
It's been all right. Wolves have been in a decline this year, haven't they? This season, and Villa are doing all right. They've got party boy Jack Grealish and notable father of the year John Terry in his assistant manager.
How's he working out for you, John Terry? Is he good to have at the club, or is he?
I think so. I mean, that season he had on loan where he was playing, he definitely shored up the defence, and then he seems to have made us stronger at the back. So you know, I'll take that. I don't like the idea of him taking over full time as manager. I'm not sure that would work, but
have been spoken about.
It has in the past. You know, when Dean Smith was not getting the results. It was talked about last season. You know, when we were in a relegation battle, it was on the cards, but thankfully it never came to that.
Yeah.
So just for 1 second, I'm just going to let my dogs in because they're crying at me just over here.
Yeah. We'll talk behind your back,
and that could be annoying.
I don't know anything else about Aston Villa, do you? I like the Kappa kit from last season. Is that the Kappa kit that you got there?
Yeah. This season's away kit.
No.
Are you still? Oh, cool. Just,
we get the rubbish kit, mate. Because what's this one? Iria.
But we're supposed to be having a new
That's
kit.
That's because you're usually bringing up the Ria.
You
know, we talked about some of this top level banter we'd get.
We did. It
That's
started.
A little taste there.
You just threw one at us there. So yeah, just a few more minutes on football then. So I'm aware that football is ridiculous. It's 22 young men kicking a football around and trying to score a goal. And then when we go, whoa, something about it though, isn't there? It's since I was about 8 or 9. I nearly became a Villa fan. I'll tell you this quickly. I remember not many vivid memories of being a really young kid, about 7 or 8. But I was reading a football magazine. I'd not had a football kit yet at that age, but I kind of becoming aware that you could get them. In the back of it, there's a Villa shirt on offer. I remember seeing it; it was on offer. So I thought, they might buy it. Mum and Dad might buy that for me because it's on offer. And it was a Villa shirt. I didn't know what Villa were at the time, but I liked the look of the shirt. It was on offer. They didn't buy it for me. Could have gone a completely different way.
Good for them.
Yeah. And then about a year later, my dad's friend took me to Norwich against Southampton in the quarterfinal of the FA Cup replay, and the rest is history. And I have a brick on the wall at Norwich that mentions that game. But anyway, where was I going with that? So yeah, the importance of football. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I went off there. The importance of football is, if you really break it down, it's ridiculous, isn't it? It's ridiculous that it means so much to us, but it can make or break my week, my month, season. Saturdays at the minute, I'm feeling a bit lost because I can't sit there and listen to the football at the minute. What is it about?
I've had this exact same thought recently because I mean it goes beyond just watching, you know, the Villa. It's watching other teams, and then also you've got, you know, I'm doing fantasy football leagues and Super Six, and I've got betting syndicates with some friends and all these various bits. And really, all I'm doing is adding more possibilities for my weekend to be ruined. That's what it boils down to. So now, Villa can win. Oh, great! But that player that scored a hat trick, I took him out of my fantasy football team. Weekend's ruined. Or my bet didn't come in. So I've been thinking about it, and I'm always going to love Villa and want to watch them. So I can't turn that off. But I think next season I'm not going to do any of that other stuff. Fantasy football, that can all get in the bin. Because I don't know why we do it to ourselves. Who needs more things to get anxious about?
Exactly. Do you follow the national team as much as you do Villa?
Yeah, I mean, I watch the game. I watch the games, and get super excited for the big tournaments. Can't wait for the World Cups and the Euros. So yeah, then that's super. That's really soon, isn't it? That's in like a couple of weeks' time. It's really not far away.
See, with England, I've not watched an England game since it'll just be tournaments. I get so bored of the England games now. They're so
the friendlies they're tough to watch, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They're horrible. Even the qualifiers, they're just so formulaic and boring. But always get excited about the tournaments, and can't wait for that. It's gonna be good.
And this isn't a dig, although it's going to sound a little bit like one. I found it a little bit easier to watch England more recently, as Jack Grealish has got into the team, or Mings or Ollie Watkins recently played. I can kind of get an additional enjoyment even from the friendlies by watching the Villa players go out there and play, and hopefully play well on the big stage. So. But I don't expect you don't get that very often with Norwich.
No, we love watching Finland.
We love watching England under 21s with Cantwell and Max Aarons, and then
Scotland. Well, Argentina now as well. We can now watch Argentina because our little Emmy has made it in the Argentina squad.
Yeah, we follow the Dutch National League with Timmy Krul in goal.
Do you think that Buendia is going to do well at the Villa next season?
You cannot afford it. Why would he go there? Sideways.
He's going to go to Arsenal and completely ruin his career and just become a hideous Arsenal player, probably. And or stay at Norwich, where he'll be literally the best player Norwich have ever had.
Better than Darren Huckabee?
Oh,
Darren Huckabee's a league of his own in terms of he's too good always too good for Championship, never quite good enough for the Premier League. So he was that in between player, but he's a legend, absolute legend.
Or you've managed to. I just noticed you've got Dion as well behind you. That's a good one to share. We can share him.
Yeah, he's a nice man, isn't he?
Yeah,
lovely man.
TV's Dion Dublin.
Cool. It's a very, very niche Venn diagram, isn't it? The where Villa players, Norwich players, and Homes Under the Hammer presenters in the middle.
There's not too many others, are there? No,
I don't think. I think he sits alone in that section. Yeah.
Right. See Ewan Roberts hosting that. That would be good, wouldn't it? No connection to Villa, but Ewan Roberts, legendary Norwich player, him doing Homes Under the Hammer, brilliant.
There must be some other Villa connections, but I said we'd talk about football for 5 minutes, but we've just lost anyone who's watching completely, I think. Music.
Music.
This is where we normally go back and kind of learn about, like we just did with the football, really. When did you first start getting into music? And I did stalk your Facebook yesterday because I like to stalk through some photos. I must say quickly, beautiful house you've got, Matt. Absolutely lovely photos of your house. I did notice that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, lovely house.
We like it a lot. We moved here about 5 months ago. It's going pretty well.
Very nice house. Anyway.
Got a new bike as well.
Nice bike. Yeah, your bike equipment. Hang on.
You really do your research. This is borderline scary, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, your top drawer in your bedside cabinet, Matt. So yeah, what music did you first get into? When did music start becoming important to you?
I mean, likewise with the football, my dad was really the influence there. He's a big rocker, always was. So I kind of grew up listening, having thrust upon me the likes of UFO are his favourite bands, so what we would call now classic rock, Led Zeppelin, all these kinds of bands. So that's really what kind of, guitar driven music was really the kind of main thing that I would listen to. And then as I became, as I entered my teens, in the early 2000s, I was really into the new metal scene, Linkin Park, Papa Roach, Limp Bizkit, all that sort of stuff. So
it's very nice you could admit that and be honest about that.
Yeah.
That's good on you.
And to even to this day, those bands are still the bands that I still listen to those kind of tracks. Less so Limp Bizkit, but Papa Roach, I still love. Linkin Park. When we lost Chester, I was devastated. So yeah, I went to my first gig when I was about 8. I saw Kiss at the NEC in Birmingham. Which is no kind of introduction to live music for an 8-year-old. It's ridiculous. Why my parents thought that was a good idea.
I was going to say, was that with your dad?
Yeah. And I hated it. I loved Kiss, but it was too loud. I didn't like it. So I had a few years off after that, and then sort of rediscovered going to see bands. At the age of 11 or 12. I think Sum 41 might have been the first band that I saw. It was like a reintroduction to live music.
Yeah.
And then pretty much after then, that became like my thing. I was working from the age of like 13. I had a Saturday job which paid me, 15 quid. And that was enough to get a gig ticket. So most weeks it would be a case of seeing whose tour was rolling through Birmingham Academy or Wolverhampton Civic. And if you were a rock band in the early 2000s that was getting your music played on Kerrang and you happened to come through the West Midlands, then chances are I went to see them. But also all the classic rock bands I've been to see with my dad, the likes of Whitesnake, Def Leppard, Queens, I don't know, hundreds of bands. I just followed him.
Did you ever pick up an instrument at this point? Did you ever drums, guitar, anything?
No, never. It's one of those things that I always regretted not picking up a guitar at a younger age, and I know people say it's never too late, but I don't know whether I don't feel like a musician, if I'm honest. So I don't know that I'd take to it. I love the idea, being on stage holding a guitar, that's about as cool as you can look, isn't it?
Wow. We've not figured it out yet, but we're still trying. 20 years later to try and look cool. But it is easier, I think, when you're 15 to learn guitar than it would be to pick it up now. I've been saying for the last 15 years, I'm going to learn piano, but because when you're 15, I don't know, things are a bit easier. We have more time for a start. You're desperate to look a bit cooler at that age, so you put more time into it, I think. But no,
the arthritis hasn't set into the joints as well at that point, So
yeah, exactly, yeah. So yeah, all right. You never picked up an instrument, then you never learned anything. When did that?
No, I was pretty good on Guitar Hero though.
I was rubbish at that. Yeah. No. When did your beautiful voice appear then?
I think I've always sung to myself. Some of my earliest memories of music actually would be, in our living room growing up, there was a stereo, and I'd go and put the big headphones on. Headphones back then were big just because the technology hadn't advanced, not because it was cool like it is now. And I would throw on, I don't know, whatever CD. I think Meatloaf, would sing along to Meatloaf to myself. I like to open the CDs, and for me, I love it when lyrics are printed in the booklet.
Yeah,
it really winds me up when bands don't do that, because that was my favorite thing. I wanted to know the lyrics, so I could sing to it. And that's always been my deepest connection with music. Reading the lyrics and singing along at the same time. Not just Meatloaf. There was an Erasure album that I was quite fond of. I'll just admit to anything.
Wow.
Evidently. Another Manic Street Preachers. This is My Truth, Tell Me Yours. Again,
Yeah.
that was huge. I'd never heard anything like that before. So I would just sing along to those, and I've always sung, but never really in front of people.
So were you in a band before you moved? If you moved down here about 10 years ago, were you ever in a band before that?
No, never. A few friends of mine back home did the band thing when we were like 17, 18. And I was always super jealous. But I think in my head, it was, I'm not a musician. I don't play guitar. It's not really my place. And I'm not a good enough singer to get up and do that. I don't have the confidence. So I didn't do it, but always regretted it. I'd go and see my friends' bands and be super jealous. But then, moving to Peterborough, when I did it in my early 20s, started to make new friends here, and some friends of mine were in another band that I would go and see, and again would get jealous of. And then when that band didn't work out, they just kind of stopped, and a couple of the members, Ethan and Will, were still wanting to play music, and still jamming together. I think Ethan at a house party one night just caught me singing along to a song that was playing on the speaker, and said, you can sing. You should come and do something with that. And they just invited me along to a couple of jam sessions down Rocket Park. We were singing along to some Royal Blood covers, and it just kind of grew from there. We pulled in various guitarists. Call to the Faithful have had, in a relatively short lifespan, we've been playing music together for 2 or 3 years. We've had a handful of different guitarists.
What's that about? Is that because you're so hard to get along with?
I don't think so. No, I think Ethan, Will, and I have always had the same creative direction, and I think we struggled to find a fourth person that wanted to make the same sounds as we did. Yeah. But we seem to have found that now with Oscar. Oscar's been a solid and calming presence in the band now for probably 18 months, and is not showing signs of going anywhere. So I think we've settled now, and that's good. And also Oscar's super creative, so he's a real driving force behind a lot of what we're writing these days, which is great, because I'm not super creative, but this is one of the refreshing things about working with you guys. When you brought this song to me, it was a package all neatly wrapped up, and you were just like, can you sing on this? Still took me 4 weeks, didn't it?
Well, we're going to come on to that, but yeah.
But sorry, just ruin that story. I'm not a prolific writer. I have written lyrics, some Call to the Faithful lyrics. Much of what we've recorded and put out, I have put lyrics to, but I'm not I don't consider myself overly creative.
Is that through lack of confidence, or just you can't be asked doing it?
A little bit of lack of confidence, a little bit of lack of inspiration as well. There's particularly this last 12 months, there's not been a lot to inspire me. Some of what I've contributed to and what we've written more recently has been just angry stuff. We're pissed off at the state of the world and things that are going on. But it gets to a point where you kind of stop and think, we've banged that drum a little bit now.
You can't be angry all the time, can you? So
yeah.
Life's all right sometimes. We can't be angry all the time.
At some point, I've got to write a love song. I'm sure my partner would appreciate me writing a love song eventually, but it's just not cool, is it?
We've just written a love song actually about a bearded Italian man. Danielle, who plays a lot of, every week on his podcast in Italy, he plays one of our songs, and he's done one of our videos for us.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is this the guy that's been dancing
in his dressing gown for us? Yeah, so
I like it.
He's great.
We got a song for the next album, and I've written lyrics, which is a love song to him. So don't be afraid to write a love song. Certainly not about your girlfriend. If we can do it about a bearded Italian man, then your girlfriend deserves it. So you've promised it now, have you?
Well,
yeah, you have. Yeah.
Well, you're right. It's just write a love song, but just maybe mix up the subject matter to make it a little bit cooler. The guys in our band have talked about writing a love song dedicated to drugs, which is fine. But I've been saying to them, you do realise I'm going to have to explicitly tell my family that I didn't write this song.
It's about paracetamol. Yeah. Yeah. No, don't want to be associated with that. You can't work with us anymore if you do those things.
No, drugs are bad.
Drugs are bad, kids.
What we've learned through this whole songwriting thing that we is to not really worry about trying to get things to be cool or anything like that. Just completely just write down whatever, and whatever works, and whatever rhymes nicely, not even a proper meaning to any songs. I often think there's too much kind of emphasis put on a song having to have an actual proper meaning to something. And when in reality, you can make any song, like all the classic Nirvana songs, people used to read whatever meaning they wanted out of it. And Kurt Cobain would just go along with it and say, yeah, if you want that to mean that, then it's fine, do it, whatever. And that's our approach to it as well, really.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I get too hung up on that, admittedly. And like I say, it's been really refreshing. Your approach to what you're doing, putting out these 12 albums this year, the speed with which you're creating it, and still striking a balance with making good quality content, and everything that you're doing in social media surrounding it, these chats, it's admirable, honestly, guys. Thank you. You really deserve a lot of credit.
Thank you. And it's come about because we put no thought into it. That's how it's come about. It's not like we spent 12 months planning it. We've just, should we do that? Let's do it and just see what happens.
I think if we planned it wouldn't work, would it?
No. Just completely putting ourselves out there with lyrics and songs and these things, and if people think we're idiots, then I don't really care anymore.
Too old to worry about that.
Too old to care now. So just this time, would I've done this 15 years ago? Absolutely not. No way. But no, thank you for saying that, Matt. Appreciate it. I'm now going to knock you, so I feel a bit bad now. But we started chatting. Well, we started chatting before we talked about a song, because you guys are Peterborough. We're just down the A47, just down the road. So when we're really keen to connect with other bands, even if the kind of music is not our kind of music, we're all doing the same thing. We're all being creative. We want to share each other's stuff. And I think you were the main chatter on the Call to the Faithful Instagram to start with anyway. So we're having that dialogue, and then I think I mentioned to you quite a while ago that we're doing some punk stuff. We'll send you some stuff and you can have a go. And then we found this track that we'd written called Time, which, I mean, we say our rock anthem. To other people, it wouldn't be that at all. But compared to the other stuff we're doing, it is the more traditional kind of song structure, these kind of things. So we sent that to you on March the 29th, didn't we? Do you remember? Yeah.
I hadn't marked the date on my calendar, but clearly this is something that you've been giving a lot of thought to.
Just jumped off the top of my head. I didn't look at it this morning. March the 29th. And then it came back on May the 9th, which is a perfectly reasonable timescale if you're not in Das Capitans. In that timescale, we'd written 2 albums. But what came back, I mean, it happened to come back when me and Steve were both sitting here rehearsing for the Doc Mason show the other night. And we put it on and we were like, oh, yeah. We were blown away by it, Matt, honestly. I know we can say things just to be nice, but genuinely, we were like, yes, this is incredible what you've done to this. And you added some words in as well. And the vocal bits you did, all the vocals layered up, and it was like, yes, this is why people take time to do songs, because you absolutely nailed it, and love it.
That's very kind of you to say. It's
absolutely love
it. Thank you. The truth that, and I'd love to tell you that the reason it took 4 weeks is because I agonised over it every night on those 4 weeks. The truth is, within 1 week of getting them, I did have an attempt. Wasn't entirely happy with it, and then life got in the way a little bit. And I was becoming very conscious of the fact that I owed you these vocals. And then it got to I think I sent them to you on a Sunday. Was it Sunday?
Possibly. Yeah, I don't know.
A Sunday a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, it was.
And it was because I was sat one afternoon here at home with my partner, and I was like, look, I really just need to go and spend an hour cracking on. I owe these guys some vocals. I need an hour. Can you keep the dogs away so they're not barking and ruining the takes? And I just went for it, and I tried to use some of that mantra you're talking about, because the previous attempt I wasn't very happy with, but I know that I will agonize over that sort of stuff and become a bit of a perfectionist.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what, so over the course of an hour, I blasted out a few takes, had a little bit of a play with it, and then just thought, you know what, I just need to send this today, regardless of whether I'm entirely happy with it. And I've got to say, I still wasn't that pleased with it, but I do really like the final outcome, and I think that's a lot to do with how you guys have produced that and mixed it, and some of the effects you've used, and layering and harmonizing the vocals. I appreciate I played a part, but honestly, I would really want people to understand that my raw take of those vocals were not as good as it sounds in the final product, and that was you guys.
No, they were brilliant. It didn't take much at all. It really didn't. They were really, really good. Really good.
We have, in terms of mixing and everything, we have a lot of. I've done so many now that I've got presets for various things, and it just kind of it's a very simple process for my mixing now, because it's all done exactly the same. Simon had to spend a little bit of time just kind of moving a few words, didn't he? But
because we decided to use all the takes rather than just one or two. And you probably hadn't intended for them all to be used. Some of them had to be kind of chopped and moved along like half a split second or something just to line them up. And there's some of, when I listen back to the track in detail, I can hear little bits where I've not done that quite right. But it's about not being annoyed by that and thinking, actually, no. And I said to Steve, I need to do a bit more moving. He was like, what are you on about? I've not noticed. And other people don't notice what you do yourself.
And also, it's part of what makes it unique. We've got a Call to the Faithful song we've just had a mix back, and it's by far the best track we've ever produced in a studio together. But again, I was agonising over that very same thing. There's some harmonies or vocals that have been layered together, and there was a subtle timing mismatch. But actually, it's deep in the mix. It's in the background. To anybody that doesn't know, they wouldn't even pick up on it. But anybody who even does notice it, it just kind of adds a bit of character to the song.
You don't want it to be perfect. You don't want the timing to be absolutely perfect on everything. It's just doesn't sound natural. That's not right.
I mean, we like to think that we're super professional and stuff, but we're hobbyists, aren't we? You know.
Oh yeah. Shit. Nearly knocked everything over.
I don't. Why?
It was you saying we're not professionals. Everything nearly went crashing around me.
Yeah. So yeah, I need to, that's something I'm trying to dial back in learning myself to not worry so much, because at the end of the day, I can agonise over it, but there's only going to be 30 people stream it on Spotify anyway.
That's what you've got to remind yourself, is that it might be listened to by 10,000 people, but it's probably only listened to by 10 people or 100 people. Like this YouTube channel, there's 67 subscribers at the minute. I think the most watched video is Time, and that's got 115 people that have clicked on it. And that's probably us.
That's at least 40 of them of me.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a great video.
Very narcissistic.
So no, I think it's that. Is you have to check yourself sometimes and go. You can get really involved in it sometimes. And think, oh yeah, this is really serious what we're doing here, and we're renowned musicians. But when we get to that point, we'll worry about it. But it's probably not going to happen.
You've recently put all your stuff on Bandcamp recently, which we try and push quite a lot on through our music and through these chats as well. How are you getting on with that? Is it have you had much interest on there, or
a slow start, and to be honest, it was conversation with you guys. You know, you really convinced me that was a good thing to do and a positive step forward, and I still think it will be. Maybe when I can dedicate a bit more time to concentrating on that platform and engaging with people. But I think that what you guys, the approach that you are taking has been different to what I've done in the past, where we have focused very much on the likes of Spotify. But I'm watching what you guys are doing very closely, have been since the start of the year, and really very impressed with the way you're building, that kind of like cult following. There's a lot to be said for that. That's not meant as a dig.
No.
The people that are enjoying your music and listening, they're dedicated and they're fans.
Yeah, they keep coming back.
As small independent DIY bands, having fans is so difficult. Cult of the Faithful have a handful of what I would consider fans. Okay, we might at times of promoting out new singles, we might have had a couple of hundred people listen to a track, but how many of them are the likes that are going to come back and buy the single or buy a t-shirt? It's a handful. Whereas I think what you guys are doing and where I see the value and why I would give Bandcamp more attention in the future is because you do seem to be able to engage and find real fans there.
Yeah, exactly. They will follow you. People will follow you if they like your music, and as soon as you release something, an email goes around to everybody who's following you, and a lot of time when we do that, we then suddenly get a huge amount of downloads coming from it, and people interested in some of the CDs that we're now doing and things like that. And with Spotify, I think they're so. I hate Spotify. I really can't stand Spotify at all. I don't get how to use it or anything like that. And I find them, I don't know, they're just no good for the artist at all. Absolutely no good for the artist at all. And you can always tell the people who've got thousands and thousands of followers on Spotify, it's because they've been going onto playlists that are completely irrelevant, really. People aren't these paid for playlists and all these things where you have to put down your email address for them all to be going onto the playlists. They're not proper fans. People will follow you for the sake of following you, but not necessarily actually liking what you're doing all the time. And the fact they give the artist, what is it, something like 0.002 pence per play, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. And then they've just been talking about the owner of Spotify trying to buy Arsenal Football Club out of it.
He's loaded.
It's disgusting, absolutely disgusting.
We've actually written a song for the next album called Spotted Die, which is kind of criticising Spotify, which our music goes on there. But yeah, I think in the last 2 years across all the streaming platforms, I can see on the app we've made £9 across Fuzz and the Felts and Das Capitans over a 2.5 year period. We're not trying to make money, but that's just kind of, there's been thousands and thousands of plays. And as an artist, if you were dependent on some income as an artist, you're looking at £9 every 2 years for some thousands of plays. So it is. So the important thing is, and I guess my views changed this year, because last year I would have thought, playlists, Spotify, Apple Music, we need to get on there. But it's been this year discovered that just talk to people. Chatting this morning to the guys in New York that have started following us and just having a chat with them and having a laugh with them. The guys, the Fothermuckers in Spain, Danielle, the Italian guy. It's just having some dialogue, some conversation. It goes far further than a Spotify playlist. So we recommend that.
Definitely. And of course, the option of actually being able to sell some stuff on Bandcamp, even if you just charge £2 for an album, something like that, whatever, people will buy it because they want to help you out. And also, what we're doing with all of that money that we are making, not that we're making a lot, but any money that does come in then funds CDs for next albums and stuff like that. So we're not out of pocket doing stuff, and it's all a self-funding thing through Bandcamp, and I can't recommend that website enough. It's absolutely brilliant. Every band should be on trying to get a following on Bandcamp, because that's the way to do it, definitely, in my opinion. So,
I think you're onto something.
Whilst we're talking about bands, we're talking about picking up fans here and stuff. How many gigs have you guys done? Do you struggle getting people along to them? Have you played to One Man and His Dog?
Yeah, we. I I'd say that we played our first gig in the back end of 2018. It was like December 2018. And then obviously 2020 was a bit of a write-off. Although even last year we managed to play more gigs than most last year. We did 2 or 3 gigs last year, which is obviously nothing, but most people did none. I'd say we've probably played like 25 to 30 gigs over a few years. We got into a habit where we were playing 1 or 2 a month, which is about as much as we can commit to with 4 guys availability, and we're all working full-time jobs, you know. But yeah, you know, we've done the gigs to just a handful of people. We've also played some shows. You know, we put on our own show in Cannock, my hometown.
Oh wow!
And we sold like 100 tickets. It was mental. You know, those kinds of shows are fantastic. There's a venue called The Station in Cannock. It's amazing. Really love that place, and they always support us. And when we play there, you know, I've got lots of my friends and family in that area are all very supportive, and they want to come out and play and come and watch us play. So we've kind of had both ends of that, you know, 100 people, but also then when we're playing a show in Peterborough, where we play more frequently, because that's the other thing. It feels less exclusive, you know, that we're only getting to play in Cannock once a year maybe. But yeah, it's difficult to sell tickets locally. People don't want to come out and see original music. If you're a nobody band, which, you know, is what we are.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that I'm keen to change myself this year, is to get out there. I'm always whinging that people don't go and see bands, so I'm coming to see you guys on 12th of June. Is it 12th of June? Yeah,
that's right. Yeah,
I sit at a socially distanced table, which is a bit irritating, isn't it, when seeing a gig sat at a table? But anyway, so you know, I'm determined to do that, because you've probably seen the post I've done this week of that pinboard, when there's about 10 of us, kind of like of Peterborough-ish bands on there. And if us as a group of 10, and I don't want to preach to anyone and force anyone to do anything, but if us as a group of 10 occasionally kind of pop to each other gigs and got a few people along, it'd really make a difference, because we're not asking for 200 people to come to every gig, are we? We're not asking for thousands of people to buy our music. But I was saying to Steve the other day, if 100 people could buy a CD when it came out, or if 50 people could come to your gig, that would be all right. That'd be good. We're not looking for much more.
And that's not, you know, it's not unrealistic, is it? It's not that. It's not beyond achievable. You're absolutely right. I mean, one thing I will say is that I. Less so before I was in a band and getting integrated into the local scene. Prior to that, I was guilty of spending £100 to go and see the Eagles, or you know, but not spending a fiver to go and see band I haven't heard at the local pub. So I've been guilty of that in the past, and I understand why people fall into that trap. But almost immediately in having been the other side of that and wanting people to come to my gigs, that's something I do now, and I have done for 3 years. Lots of the bands in Cambridgeshire, many of them I have caught. I do tend to go out to gigs. Interestingly, I say that because I don't think I've caught Buzz on the Felts, which is my bad. Apologies, but I'll put that right at the next opportunity, because I do like to go and support other bands. I've been very supportive. A lot of Call to the Faithful's relative success and exposure has been through me trying to do a little bit of what you're doing, which is, you know, how our conversation striked up. I do like to share. I do like to share local bands, network. Go and see other people's gigs, have a chat to the bands afterwards. That's always been the biggest weapon in
that's the
my
thing. Any time that you or we share other bands, it's always got us connected to it. So at the same time, I'm promoting us as well as all those other bands. By you going to a gig, Matt, then you are called to the faithful walking around that room, and people will recognise you. Oh, there's Mr. Called to the Faithful. So it's all it helps us all out, doesn't it? It helps ourselves out to promote ourselves whilst helping other people. So I think if we can all, and I'm certainly not preaching, because my mindset has only just shifted this year. So I've always been a bit kind of selfish and not gone and seen as much as I should do. So it's only a recent thing for me to have this revelation. But no, let's all do it. Let's all chat. Let's all share.
Yeah, you're preaching to the converted. I mean, I don't think people realise how much power they have to elevate and create a moment for a band. Like you say, it only takes 50 people. If there's four, if there's four of you in a band, if you can each get between 10 and 15 people to come along, which sounds like everyone would like to think that they've got between 10 and 15 friends and family that they could bring along to a gig, or other bands that they've networked. And that can make such a difference into giving someone a boost and kicking them onto the next level. And also likewise, if you can, on a release day of a single, you send it out to your friends and family, and I'm sure many of them do give it a listen. Maybe they remember after 4 or 5 days, they give it a little listen. And but I don't think people understand the power of actually, if on release day, if like 100 people all streamed it on day one, added it to a playlist or whatever, that's really powerful in terms of kicking in algorithms, having your music show up on, just coming up randomly in other people's playlists, or I don't think people understand truly how much power they have, that they can do that if they want to support their friends and family. I think it's really achievable. It's just getting people to understand that they have that power.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's make it work this year. Let's get us all spreading the word and doing this. Right, we're getting a bit serious now. We've been on about an hour now. We do like to keep it around an hour, but we can't finish this. I've got a game. I've planned a game of Good Beard, Bad Beard, which is a very well-known game around these parts.
Like my Good Clown, Bad Clown quiz that I did the other week.
It's similar to that, isn't it? I did kind of steal your idea then. So this is a bit of a family game. We normally play at Christmas time in Norfolk. Perhaps not what you do in the Midlands.
No, I mean, I'm going to resist temptation to take any digs of what games families play together in Norfolk.
Right.
That's a good bit. Like that one.
Yeah, I like that. Well, so what do we? Good beard, bad beard. So we've got a selection of beards here that we can have a quick look at, because anyone looking at the three of us can see that we are proud wearers of the beard. Not too dissimilar in the styles. Steve does go for a big bushy one.
Homeless look.
Yeah, it's not intentional. It's just how it goes.
I've got my surname's Beard as well. Growing up, I always thought that was a burden to hold, but now beards are fashionable, and I think
proud of it.
I think I have a claim to the beard throne.
It's the beard.
What do you make of this one then? Is this ever something that when you have a beard, and I don't know, Steve, you haven't shaved yours off for ages, have you? But Matt, I don't know if you have, when you've trimmed it or shaved it off to have a little bit of a break for a week just to see what your face really looks like. Do you ever do that and shave half of it off?
No, it's been a long time since I've
really
removed all of it, because my partner doesn't like it when I'm stubbly. So I've trimmed it much shorter than it is now, but yeah, still I've kept a full beard now for a good few years.
But you wouldn't go for the bearded skin fade?
No, I don't think so. Although the side of my head go for a little bit of that, but not on the beard.
We're not.
That's a bad beard for me.
How that beard is fading out from the top, like quite thick on the top down to really thin on the bottom. If you turn it upside down, that's like my hairline there. Quite thick, and then goes really thin.
This is actually
the chin, the kind of chin strap as well is kind of giving me Ronaldo vibes. 90s Ronaldo, when he had that strange thing.
Yeah.
That look a bit like me, that one.
Yeah.
Well, that's like Neil.
I thought this was interesting because 10 years ago, he's a very handsome man. I don't know who this is. He might be famous. I don't know. But 10 years ago, this chap wouldn't have a beard. He's classic kind of boy band kind of look. He wouldn't have a beard, but now look at him. That is a groomed beard, isn't it?
It's fantastic. I mean, that's really the dream for me.
Yeah,
that's good beard. I if I could, if I had the patience to grow one that long, but also it looks very well groomed, quite nice and tidy and straight. And mine gets any.
No, sorry, carry on.
I'd say if mine gets any longer than this, it tends to kind of get a bit out of control.
Yeah. See, mine starts getting longer, but I start chewing at it. I start kind of.
I chew.
I'm a bugger for that.
Yeah.
So there's all sorts of different lengths going on in my beard. I could never get it structurally perfect like that.
It does look like it smells nice as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it definitely smells incredible.
Yeah. Do you use any oil on yours, Matt? While we're here, whilst we talk, any oils?
Yeah, I've got a bit of a routine with the oils and the balms.
Just your natural man oil.
Bit of brushing.
Bit of man juice. Oh, so.
Oh, yes. That's
it's almost
beard without the moustache is almost an Amish thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I was thinking Amish. Yeah, that's the vibes I'm getting.
I think he just can't grow the tash bit though.
No, there's stubble there though, isn't there? There's kind of wispiness there.
It's a bit wispy. I'm not sure he's very pube-like, isn't it?
Yeah. No, that's making me uncomfortable. It's like his beard is scared of his face. It's like he doesn't want to get.
Doesn't want to be committed too much.
Yeah.
He's not got bad hair, has he? Really, he doesn't need that beard.
His hair, yeah, good hair. Although I'm going to make a judgment here. I think that hairline goes up way higher than he's leading us to believe. I think much of that is just sat on top, grown over.
Your hairline's all right, isn't it, mate? You're not at that age yet. You're not quite as old as us.
Mm-hmm.
It's starting to happen. I'm finding that it's taking me slightly longer to wash my face every day.
Steve's hairline starts at the top of his bum.
It does.
Now, I'm thinking eating here, having dinner, eating soup, yogurt. There's not much of a hole to get in there, is there?
Yeah, if we were scoring him on practicality, then not so much. But you know what? Forgetting the beard for 1 second. Those eyes, I could get lost in those eyes. I'm feeling all sorts of stirrings that.
We won't keep on this for too long then.
Is he wearing a fur jacket, or is that just a really long mullet coming back from?
Very hairy man.
Haircut sticking out of the back of his over his shoulder.
Yeah. It's quite depth on the front, isn't there? It's quite almost like you could chop that in half and still have plenty left.
Yeah.
I think it takes real balls to pull off the kind of curved mustache ends as well.
Oh yeah, this man does not give a shit about what you think.
No, he doesn't.
No, and he's popular because of it. What's next? Would you ever go, Steve? I can see you.
No.
Going this long.
No, I can do it. Imagine me going to, whenever I go to work and I have to go into factories, I have to wear a snood anyway and stuff like that. So if I had something like that, it'd just be ridiculous. They're uncomfortable, even with beard at this length. So
I imagine that would keep you awake in the night as well. That'd be tickling you, wouldn't it? Tickling your body.
I wouldn't, like I say, because I chew my beard, I wouldn't ever be able to get it as long as that anyway. Or there'd be a strand there as long like it's going down there. But yeah.
I've got a lot of respect for people with these beards because it must be tough. It must make life a bit more difficult.
I think it's needlessly long. I think it's having a long beard for the sake of just saying, look how long my beard is, look how much of a man I am. Not doing it for me.
Fine.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Interesting.
And it's clearly at barbers as well.
I think this is the last one here.
I like that. What you could do with that is you could wear a bicycle helmet on top of it. And you know the most uncomfortable thing about a bicycle helmet is the strap that you have to put around your chin. You could put the bicycle helmet on for that and not wear the strap, and people would still think you've got the strap on.
Yeah. I mean, this makes me feel uncomfortable. I feel like this chap has been taken hostage and they've just played with him. They've just played with his hair, really made him feel crap, and he looks really sad. He looks really unhappy.
He looks serious, though, doesn't he? He looks like he's. I don't know. If you'd had that haircut, if you'd have done that yourself, you'd be smiling whilst taking.
You'd be having a laugh. This is why I think it may be quite an unpleasant situation going on, because I'd be giggling if I'd done that. I'd be having a good old giggle. So I'm going to move on from that, just in case.
I think it looks like he's wearing someone else's face. That looks like it's a face transplant.
Oh, it does, doesn't it?
That's a good point. Yeah, that is. Yeah, I like that.
I think this guy's trapped in some dirty old flat in Birmingham by the looks of it. Oh. So I think this photograph was around the haircut, wasn't it? You got your lockdown haircut going on.
Yeah, that picture on the right there, that was when it was getting a little bit out of hand.
I think we all had
in the depths of lockdown.
We had this without the haircuts. We had big sides, didn't we? I think most men during lockdown, the hair sides, we started going sideways with the hair.
That's the beauty of having this hairstyle. You just shave it every couple of days. It's done.
Where'd you get your hair cut, Max? It's a beautiful cut you have.
This one, I'm not too sure. That was before I moved to Ramsey, so that would have been. I don't know. I think it's placing Yaxley head to head.
When you got now? Is you've got a very sharp one at the minute?
Yeah, there's within a couple of 100 yards of where I live. I'm sport for choice. There's like 3 barbers within 200 yards of here. But yeah, there's high street barbers in Ramsey. There's a lovely lady there, Sally, who cuts my hair, and she's a Villa fan. So she's gonna. I think I've set all that's where my business is going for the foreseeable future.
Nice. Couple more. One. I think the next one is the dangers of beards. Yeah.
Same T-shirt.
This one wasn't on social media. This is from a personal collection.
I found this in your deleted items on your phone.
Not sure how you got hold of this one.
So yeah, this is a common problem, isn't it? When we eat soft food, there's always this danger.
I mean, what's really upsetting me about this one is that I remember that being taken around this time last year, and I'm sat in my garden and it was glorious sunshine, and it's been disgusting out there this week.
Yeah. Horrible. So do you guys often get things trapped in the beard? Is it getting pointed out to you? Have you got a whole day with having a bit of cornflake in there?
I once fell asleep on the sofa, and wife and kids were putting cocktail sticks in my beard, and they got to about 50. So that was fun. It was like what's that game where you put all the sticks in and the marbles come flying down?
Kaplunk.
Yeah, that's what it was, like Kaplunk, but with my beard. And the only thing that would fall down would be my rage.
I often get fluff in mine. I'm always finding fluff in it. People often point out fluff. Don't know where it comes from, but I got one more. So this is the one of the wonders of the beard, isn't it? At Christmas time, is you can take the decorations off the tree and you can put them on your face. We've all done it. We've all done it.
These were purpose built. These were beard baubles. This wasn't, yeah. I mean, I want to paint this picture of this, eccentric person that thought, I'm going to take the decorations off the tree. But no, these were bought for me. They dedicated beard baubles, little tiny little like crocodile clips. It's not practical at all. Extremely painful. For them to be hanging off your beard, and if anybody kind of catches one or yanks on one, as nieces and nephews do around Christmas time, they see something shiny, they want to yank at it. Awful idea. That they didn't stay on very long.
Yeah, I got the very same present at Christmas as well. I think I got 2 of them, in fact, just from 2 different people. And,
the one I do want to try, I've seen the glitter beards. Have you seen? You can buy. I've considered that, but it's just I just can't be asked to clean up the mess. I'm sure that gets everywhere.
Yeah, don't go anywhere near glitter. Bad for the environment.
You can get the friendly ones that's not made of dolphins. Right. Thank you for giving me permission, Matt, by the way, to share those photos. I appreciate that. Great. Thank you. The last
you're
thing I'll talk
welcome.
about then is I think we discovered over the last few days a mutual love of food. I'm really interested to know. Me and Steve look like a pair of Moomins because of our love of food. You're in fine shape.
Am I though?
Well, you are. Look at you. You're not round. You would like that. We look like cylinders. You look like rectangles.
I've got this beard because I look like a moon if I don't have a beard.
Yeah, bright moon. What's the secret, Matt?
Fasting. No, that's not true. I am relatively active.
That's the difference.
I still play some football. I have a keen footballer. I was quite good back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I play football. Do a bit of cycling. Yeah, and
so you don't sit for hours in the evening watching Netflix and eating biscuits like me.
I do that occasionally. Last night was a good one. Nice big plate of steak and chips, and followed it up with some Cadbury's crunchy yogurt thing. Fantastic. So I do have the splurges, but then yeah, today I'll probably I'll be a bit more sensible today. I think maybe have a light lunch, and it's just about balance.
Wow. Well,
really rock and roll of me to say, isn't it?
I think you need to help us out with that. We'll help you out with the pushing the music out there. But if you can help us get back to our fighting weights, like 3 or 4 years ago,
I've got an 89 Holland shirt to get into.
Yeah, he's got a 1989 Holland shirt to fit into. 3 or 4 years ago, I was doing triathlons and half marathons, and I've stacked the weight on since then, and I need to get back into it. So we need to have an interband bike ride, maybe. I bought a 1,200 quid road bike about 3 years ago, and then looks nice.
Well, me and my wife Heidi about 4 years ago, probably. We did a charity cycle ride. Just me and her. We cycled to
the post office. Oh, yeah.
We just cycled to Great Yarmouth from Terrace and Clarence, my house, which was worked out 103 miles, I think.
Wow,
that was the worst thing I've ever done.
I followed you on Strava. I've been keeping an eye on how much cycling you've been doing. I think you might have slowed down a little bit, like I have with this rain.
Normally now it's cycling to the butcher's, which happens to be about 6 miles away. We'll cycle to the butcher's to get some pork scratchings and then come back.
Wow, you really, I mean, I knew that you lived somewhere posh when you said the name. What was it? Terrence? If your nearest butcher's is 6 miles away, you have to cycle to that.
Well, no, there is one in the village, but through loyalty and pork scratchings, we go to a certain one. So
that's a real Norfolk thing, isn't it? Being loyal to your butcher.
Yeah. They do good deals.
Don't upset your butcher. So no, we do. I think we do need to this year get a bit more active. And yeah, we'll have a kickabout hopefully, or a little bike ride, or just chase each other around a field.
I tell you what,
or jump around on stage. I really think you guys. I hope you take Das Capitans on stage, and if you'd be so kind as to invite me to come and sing along to Time at a show, I would jump at the chance.
Well, we can't sing that one. You're gonna have to. Yeah, definitely. No, right. We're gonna have to leave it there. We've been like an hour and 20 minutes now. If anyone's still watching this, well done.
Just before we go, what's going on with Court of the Faithful now? Then, you've been recording stuff, and what's the plan for?
No, we've got this new book we're promoting. No, yeah, we've got 2 songs recorded, which are currently being mixed. So we'll get them tidied up, mastered, and maybe do a video. I'm not too sure. Depends, because making videos are expensive. Did you see the video we did for Demons?
Yes.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good fun to do. It's great, but it's just more things to arrange and spend money on.
Yeah. If you're going for the more professional look video, it is time, it's money. If you go the other end of the scale, it's about 7.5 minutes, and it doesn't cost a penny. So
yeah, I'm currently making a video where our heads are raining down, singing a song, spinning around and raining down.
£26 for a green screen set from Amazon, and that's our set for the rest of the year now. Everything's green screen now. So
we paid for an actor for the video for Demons.
No way.
I did throw my name into the hat to play the the lead protagonist in the story, but I was shot down. It was no, let's get a professional in.
They didn't recruit a Birmingham a man from the Midlands with a beard, did they? Just to completely take the piss.
No. It was a dirty southerner. But yeah, it turns out the couple of shots in the video we play this guy's friends in the pub, and I kept ruining the takes because apparently I kept looking straight into the camera, which of course you're not supposed to do, pretend like it's not there. So perhaps it was for the best that I didn't play the lead. So yeah, we've got a couple of singles. Thank you for asking. We're looking to get into the studio to record a couple more that we've written recently. They'll possibly get packaged up together as a 4 or 5 track EP.
Yeah.
So yeah, really excited for people to hear what we've got coming. It's the first stuff that we've fully gone through a cycle with Oscar, written and recorded. A lot of what we've released in the past was recorded 18 months, 2 years ago, before Oscar joined the band. So this is got Oscar kind of stamped all over it, and it's a little bit more true to what we are today. Good.
Nice one. We'll look forward to it. We'll share it. We'll put the links on this video, and we'll share this video on everything like we normally do. We'll tag you guys as much as we can, and yeah, we'll really have to try and get together to go to Arbuckle's and have one of their giant burgers, get Fuzz and the Felts, and get your boys out, and all have some big load of food, and then go and do a big old poo.
Yeah, we'd love that.
Yeah, you boys look like you love a big poo. Anyway, that's a nice note to end it on. Right, so we'll do the pretend goodbye, and then we'll hang on for a few minutes after and have a quick chat. All right. See you then.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Wave a bit more, Matt. Wave a bit more. Cheers.
Be on Dublin High 5 up.
See you later, Dean Saunders. Okay, we're done.
That's Kapichat! That's Kapichat! That's Kapichat!